Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday, Tuesday for when you guys watching. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. It is the Bet Online Salute to Troy podcast. We got the crew here. Let's start with the mad scientist himself, Jamal Madman Magdy. How are you doing today, Jamal?
Doing well, Coach. Excited to jump on with you guys and, talk some ball. I got to say, though, before we start, the Byrd game is very strong on this show today. I've just been gushing over Ryan's beard before we got on the show. There's just a flow, there's a texture, there's a density. It's all flowing. And Fred, you always bring the A game, with the beard as well. So I'm a little bit of scruff from a couple of days here. I'm just trying to, grasp for straws and catch up to you guys. But man, the bearded bandits of Monday night.
Yes, you always have solid stubble, though. Phenomenal stubble. Yeah. And talking about Indians in general, Indians have great facial hair. Underrated. They don't get talked about enough.
Yeah. I appreciate that. It grows quickly. You'll be surprised. Sometimes you shave and then you leave and it's already growing, while you're in the car. That's just sort of the nature of being Indian.
You're like Jamal, I just want to let you know this, Jamal. You are actually you're the one that encouraged me to keep my beard growing, because when we did the live on when they fired Bond, you was like, Fred, your beard looks amazing. Like,
No, that was a great. That was sort of iconic. Fred, that was sort of like your Bush push of beards that day. That was really iconic. You sort of go back and you really think about it, and you're rocking it hard. This is phenomenal. It's the bearded bandits on Monday night.
Love it. I love it.
Mr. Dairu,
we have to.
Yeah. Mr. Dairu, founder, CEO, how are you doing this fine Monday evening?
Excellent. Fall is here. It's beautiful. As I mentioned on the live, I got to hang out with Jamal a little bit over the weekend, which is always great. Hopefully see you both this week, as well as it's, homecoming week, and we'll hopefully have some stuff planned. But yeah, things are good. Excited to just kind of hang out, have a little hang session tonight as talking USC and have some fun. But how are you doing, Coach? I feel like we never ask you how you're doing. How are you doing?
We never do.
I'm doing excellent. Like you said, we're hanging out today. We're just going to take it easy. We're getting ready to go to the playoffs. Like I've been saying, I got my Stone IPA. My Fight On ready to go. You guys go grab one at your local vendor. There goes that ad read for that.
I was upset, actually, Coach. Yesterday, I was all the way out in Rialto and went to a Stater Bros. They had Stone. They didn't have Fight On there. What are you doing, Rialto? Stater Bros? Get with it.
Yeah, that sucks. That's unfortunate, but I'm doing good. I have no complaints. I just got done with one birthday party. Now I'm ramping up and getting ready for another birthday party. So my 9-year-old who's turning 10 is November 23rd, and the one that just turned 1 was October 17th. So they're like maybe 5 weeks apart. But
wow!
But the good thing about it is he said he didn't want a birthday party. But everybody comes over to my house for Thanksgiving, and November 23rd this year is Thanksgiving. So he gets a makeshift birthday party. He gets to be around family. So we're gearing up for Thanksgiving more than that. Like, we're preparing. So it's always good, man. No complaints.
Still got to make it special, though.
Yeah. He gets a turkey cake. So everything, he's had his birthday on Thanksgiving before he got a turkey cake, so he gets a turkey cake. So he's excited about that one. Hopefully we can get Britt over. Britt normally comes over for birthdays. That's one good thing she is. That's one thing she is good about. She doesn't miss the birthday, so Britt may be over for a birthday. I am a little upset I didn't get invited to Jamal's birthday party. I thought we were better than that, but
bro, you're the one who's always complaining about I'm not coming out to Westwood. So I was like, you sort of drew the lines. You're always welcome, bro. Come on now. If this is how you feel, you get the red carpet anytime you want to come out. Look at this sign back here. This is the loneliest sign of any network in America. Okay, because I got this sign for all of us to sort of hang out and do all of this together. I haven't had a single person over to sort of do a show with this damn sign. All I can feel is just the radiating of these bulbs behind me. The neck is sweating, and I got no one to share it with. It's very, very sad.
I guarantee you this: when we do the Victory Bell podcast, for sure, I'll at least show up. We'll talk about however many times we do it that week, but I'll at least show up for the Victory Bell podcast. We'll do those in person. I don't know if Ryan can, but I will do those in person. You have my word. We'll do those in person. We'll even We'll get Will
the Thrill. We'll do it. It'll be great.
We may need to do like a 3-camera setup. Like
it'll be a 3-camera setup. We'll get everyone there. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's how we break it. I mean, we could still do it before then, but I mean that's only 2 weeks away, I guess, 3 weeks away. So.
Oh, it is 3 weeks away. So there you go.
Less than that. Well, we actually need to like start the Victory Bell show here soon. Actually, now that we're talking about it.
Yeah, we're 2 weeks.
Didn't we do it 4 weeks ahead last year?
We did. We did.
Oh, it's time for Victory Bell to start.
So we basically start doing that.
Tune in, everybody.
Time for Victory Bell to start. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that USC regular season, ends in 3 weeks. Like it's the last game is November 18th. Here we are, October 30th. It's wild to think how quickly the college season in particular comes and goes. I mean, it's just gnarly.
Wow.
So they scheduled that on purpose. They said they scheduled that on purpose because they wanted to take that Thanksgiving week off before the Pac-12 championship.
There you go. You know, so that was big words. We'll see if the vacation sort of works out. You know, is it a vacation for the Pac-12 championship game or is it just a permanent vacation? Who knows? You know, but we'll find out.
Vacation for the Sun Bowl, I guess. So. But just so everyone knows now, since we brought it up, regular programs with the Troy on this network remains the same. Tuesdays and Fridays, but now Victory Bell. We'll figure out when we're starting, but stay tuned. Victory Bell show. What do we call it? The Victory Bell selection show? Dropping here soon.
I think so. Let me look. I actually could look right now because we have the thing still up.
That was such a fun one last year, and it's always so great. That game is just so special, and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be.
Go ahead. I think we're about to say the same thing. So go ahead.
No, you go for it.
I'm texting Will right now saying, "Are you ready for Victory Bell?" I'm letting him know right now.
I was just going to say it's going to be a wild game considering how dominant the UCLA defense is and how potentially dominant the USC.
Oh yeah,
is.
I mean it's going to be strength on strength. I mean that UCLA team is no joke. I mean, and they're flying so under the radar right now, but it's how UCLA likes it. So they'll be ready to go for that game. So. Yeah, it'll be a great one.
Good. So
let's record our first one. Are you guys busy tomorrow? Let's do our first one tomorrow.
Well, yeah, we'll talk. We'll touch base. We can probably do it.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you, let me translate Ryan. When he's like, "Hey, let's talk," that means like, "Hey, Fred, you're getting out in front over here. What's going on?" You're losing gap contained like an Alex Grinch defense. I mean, let's relax. All right, just do your job, okay?
I'm just.
That just means I need to talk to the real boss of the Diamond House. That's all that means. Make sure I'm free tomorrow night, which I should be. But I don't like to commit and then have to bail out last minute. So
it's like Anchorman. I'm throwing it out there. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't, you can throw it right back.
Send it right back.
We're just hanging out today talking, man. This is how we always talk pre-show, like a lot of stuff. One thing I do want to talk about, I want to talk about two things.
Please, Fred, please.
The first thing I want to talk about is let's talk about halftime. How crazy was that halftime? So I had a friend there. He works for Cal. He's actually works for the sports psychiatrist department at Cal. So he knows all the players. He knows every athlete there, like on a personal level. He was telling me like the quarterback is such a great kid. Martinez, right?
Yeah.
He was telling me how great of a kid he is.
Yeah, Mendoza. His dad's a doctor, like really good kid. Yeah, for sure.
He was down for a little bit, and then all of a sudden he got the opportunity. He came and talked to me, and then it just fired the team up. And so great kid. I will say he's not in the sports psychiatrist department. I'm sorry. He's a part of athletic engagement. So he helps kids get jobs once they're done playing at Cal, which I think is a really good position. I apologize about that, Rod. I will say this. So McCree was apparently down with 1 second left. They forgot that the clock stops in the last 2 minutes of the half. So they didn't stop the clock to set the chains. Lincoln Riley came out and challenged the play. So I'm assuming somebody from upstairs came down and was like, hey, like we still had a second leg. He came out and challenged it. From what I was told, that halftime was actually 30 minutes instead of 20 minutes because the challenge took like 8 to 10 minutes. So the Cal band already played. Then the challenge happened. And then they announced that they're going to kick after halftime. It'll be the second quarter, and then we'll start the third quarter. That is the craziest thing ever. What if SC would have deferred and they would have received the ball at halftime and then they made the kick? Like, what happens there? That was crazy. I'm in awe. I don't even know what to say about that. Like, what happened? Like, like when you think about it, like it's just crazy. Like, what happened? Like, what are you guys' opinions? What's your opinion about that, Jamal?
It's so funny, Fred. It's fitting because if you look at the USC's remaining schedule now, that was their last appearance on the Pac-12 network, right? So forever, right? I mean, with the conference alignment and
the first and only
USC's relationship with Pac-12 referees over the years. I mean, it's kind of fitting that happened the last time USC was on the network. It's something bizarre absolutely had to happen. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know if we'll see anything like it again. I had some buddies at the game as well, and they were messaging me and saying, "Hey, is halftime on right now? Are you watching halftime?" And we're like, "Yeah, it's halftime." They're like, "Well, because it's not halftime here." So it was just absolutely a three-ring circus. And then, ironically enough, Lynch misses the kick, and so all of this for naught then is kind of added insult to injury there. But it's fascinating because it's even more nuanced. It only became an issue because the USC had a timeout. Because even though the clock stops, if you got to go run and clock it, in the time that you got to go clock it, it'll be 000. So if SC didn't have a timeout, it's sort of all for naught, and then it became all for naught with Lynch. So just yet another bizarre episode in this whole situation.
Before you go, Ryan, you know what put the icing on the cake? That Wilcox iced the kicker before the kick.
I saw that. Man, that was cheeky. That was really cheeky. Yeah.
That's what put the icing on the cake. Ryan, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, don't need to say too much on it. I mean, one thing, just to give credit where credit's due, because obviously everyone, including us, have been kind of hammering Lincoln Riley, but every coach, you get one challenge a game, and he used his challenge, and it obviously didn't pay off because he missed the kick, but he won, and, he saw what he saw, whether it was called down or whether it was him, and he fought his case and pled his case and yelled at refs, and they made Wilcox come back out from the locker room, and they got their way. But yeah, once the halftime hit, I had to leave to go do something quick. I was like, cool, I got my 20 minutes to go get this done. And I come back and I'm like, what's going on? Like, how is halftime not over yet? And so I was playing catch up too. And then that's when we were all texting in the Salute the Troy chat. And it's like, oh, they're going to kick it at the end of the beginning of the first or second half, whatever. So yeah, just absolutely bizarre comedy errors. And then they miss it. And I was like, well, that's foreshadowing. Yes, at that point, I was like, SC's losing this game. No way. You go through all that and you still miss the kick, losing this game. They're not winning this. And, obviously they did somehow.
They do.
Credit to Lincoln Riley on that one, Ryan, for sure, for sort of fighting for every play. Because I'll tell you, I think Wilcox kind of missed one similarly. It was in the second quarter when they called that incomplete pass on Rice. And if you looked at the replay, like he planted both feet. That was a fumble. And if Wilcox was kind of on it and challenged, I think that would have gotten overturned. And just the way that game was going, that could have been even more momentum for Calen in the second quarter. So you never know with these plays. You got to really sort of be on it when you're a head coach. And I think Wilcox kind of missed an opportunity there if he sort of approached it with as much intensity as Lincoln.
Real quick, wasn't there – they didn't come out after half, but wasn't there a moment last year where something similar happened where Riley – was it against Stanford or was it – I'm trying to remember who it was – where at the end of the half, clock expired, team started leaving – Lincoln pleaded his case, and they made everyone come back out for one final play. Am I crazy, or do you remember that?
I think it was Utah. I think it was Utah's first game. I think it was the first Utah game. I think
remember what game it was, but I feel like that happened.
Yeah, it might have been Utah, or it might have been like
Cal.
Yeah. It was one of them. Yeah.
But they all came back out. They ran the play, and then they went in for the half. So Riley, I guess he's keen for those situations.
He's ready, man. He's ready.
Close to zero.
You know what's funny? This was the funny thing about it. So like, when the Stanford game came, like they were like so engaged, like we have to figure out how to keep this game going. This tradition lives on. Like we can't make this the last weekender. I hope we make it work. Like it was all over the media. The Cal game comes up. They're like, well, it's the last weekender. It is what it is. Like, like we're just going to keep moving on. Like too bad these schools can never play again. But when you think about it, like the history of it, like there's only 2 games that I could think of. I'm not the historians you guys are, but like there's only 2 games that I could think of that really were worthwhile between Cal and USC that like in my lifetime that I've only known. So like I get why they're like, oh well, it is what it is. We'll just keep moving on. But go ahead.
I was just gonna say the only I feel like historical thing is the fact they've played like 100 times, but there wasn't a lot of meaningful times played.
No, I don't know. Like Jamal, would you know? You went to every school up.
Just for our listeners, I did not go to Cal. Just FYI.
I feel like you would never step foot.
You said it, Fred. I mean, it's 03 and 04, right? I mean, those are the 2 we always remember, right? I mean, the triple overtime game, that was the only loss in Leinert's 3 years in the regular season up until that Texas game, of course, and then 04 with the 4 straight plays from the 10, that was 23-17. So outside of that, it's been pretty anticlimactic. I mean, with Stanford, the interesting thing is it's been so back and forth since 07. I mean, ever since kind of Harbaugh came and declared USC the best team ever, they had the big upset in 07. Then after 07, it just felt like there were ebbs and flows. And the series has been about even since 07, so it just feels even more. A lot of people forget that before 07, SC was on a run there where they had beaten Stanford like 35 of 38. I mean, and so if it's not for Harbaugh, we're actually kind of thinking about Stanford, the rivalry, very, very similarly as we would the Cal rivalry. It really was Harbaugh's appearance and the fact that Stanford started getting these games that made it so contentious. Otherwise, I think it would sort of lack the luster. I mean, the only other time I remember kind of the notable Stanford game outside of kind of this recent present was when the Stanford band, everyone knows the Stanford band is so cheeky, and it was kind of early 90s when SC was still just a super party school, not really academically inclined. Obviously, the reputation has changed significantly since, the early 2000s, but the Stanford band came out and spelled 720 at halftime. And 720 represented the SAT score you needed to get into USC at the time, So that's the other one that, everyone remembers, historically.
I love that.
You know what else I learned about those games? So when Stanford and Cal, when they come down to the Coliseum, their band performs at halftime. I just found out that the SC didn't perform at halftime. Like when SC goes up there, they don't perform at halftime. I didn't even know that. Like, I guess that's just like a courteous thing that SC does. I don't know if you guys would know anything about that, but when I was talking to my buddy, I was like, has SC band performed yet? He was like, no, why would SC band perform? I was like, oh, when Cal comes down, they perform at halftime. He was like, you guys are soft. Like you don't let another band perform on your field. I was like, oh, that's always been like a normal thing for us. Like, yeah. Because Stanford's band is like, they don't wear traditional.
Stanford's band is like the one thing about their school that's so like the outlier of who they are. Like the band is all this sort of raggedy clothes and all this stuff. It's so un-Stanford, their band. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so
interesting.
I didn't know that, but we find out new things every day.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, the EKG that sort of SC has had ebbs and flows this season, highs and lows, and who knows where it's all going to shake out. I'll tell you, if there's anything that's had just as much of an EKG as SC's defense, it's been SC's halftime shows this year. Because after the drone show was absolutely phenomenal against Stanford. I mean, there's been some clunker halftime shows. I mean, I don't even know what that was. Against Utah at halftime. I mean, that was just noise and movement. I mean, I can't even explain to you what that halftime show was. Then obviously everything that happened last week with halftime. So I'd like to see SC, forget the defense. I don't even want the defense. Give me just a solid halftime show, against Washington.
All the talent here. Come on. I mean, it's pretty easy. I do like that they keep it traditionally most of the time with just the band, but if you want to change it up, don't go with, I mean, what was that? A makeshift pentatonics last week against Utah? I have no idea what it was.
That was brutal.
It was not
well,
great,
the old band director was really good.
Arthur C. Barner. Yep.
Yeah. So I think he retired.
Yep.
Like last year or the year before.
Yeah. It's been a couple years, I think. Yep.
that's where the fall was. Like they didn't give it to a good guy, but like the band director, he was full of energy. He was there when I was there, and he was there before me, and he did a pretty good job. My senior year, they had Bootsy Collins perform. Like he was on the field performing at halftime, and they played the background music for Bootsy Collins. Like they're Grammy Award winning. They were a Grammy Award winning band. So for them to hear that, that's just disappointing.
Well, that's what they tried to do. It was like the band performing with like two solo artists, but it didn't. I don't even know. It didn't sound good. Like the audio was off. It like didn't. And I have no idea who the people were performing. I don't know if they were students. I don't know if they were. I don't know. It wasn't good though.
You know what else is disappointing about the games now? And I told this to you before, Ryan, when we were at the San Jose State game. On third down, they used to ring the bell. Like,
yeah.
When they rang the bell was like legit loud. Like once you heard the bell, everybody knew. And now they just like kind of ring it as background noise. Like before, there was like the focal point. Like you heard the bell, crowd got on their feet, it got exciting. Now it's just like, oh, it's third down, ding ding. Like, nah.
Well,
man.
no, it's so interesting, Fred, you mentioned that, because I got to be honest with you. I think there's a poll question here in our future of who is more on the hot seat at USC. Is it Alex Grinch or is it the Coliseum DJ? Because I'll be honest with you, that guy, okay, is more on the hot seat for my money than Alex Grinch is. And so he's constantly like doing all of this stuff. Just ring the bells, keep the classics, Yeah. Between him and the towel guys, it's a 3-ring circus right now. I don't know what I'm watching.
The towel guys.
Not a fan of the DJ. Not a fan of the DJ.
I don't really remember the DJ.
He's been there. It's been like 2 or 3 seasons, I think. But he also does stuff with, I think, either the Lakers or Clippers, or like he's well known, I guess, in LA sports. But it just doesn't fit with college football. I'm like, you don't need a DJ. Like, it just makes it makes the fan base sound bad when you have to yell every time. Get loud! Come on, we need you. It's like, all right, come on, let's step with the instructions here and just hope. But that's LA for you. So,
and it's also hard too when you think about it, because like it's so diverse, right? So what music do you play? Like you have to be like, all right, do I play this here? Do I play that here? But you don't really need a DJ, because I'll give you an example. John David Booty was when he was the quarterback, they played the Bubba Sparks song when he made the big play. And then when Mark Sanchez was the quarterback, they played the hat music. You know what I mean? Like so I guess it has to be the changing of the guard. And there's a lot of stuff that was lost in these transitions. And I think those are the type of things that you need to bring back to make these things small things that matter. The bell matters. A great band, like they called themselves the #1 marching band in the world for a reason. And like now, from what I'm hearing, it's kind of disappointing. I'm really disappointed now. I don't even know what to say. I had a good day now. My whole day's lost.
That's why we got to bring it back.
Yeah,
we did. Al, before we started doing this show with you, me and Jamal, during the summer when there's nothing to talk about with college football, we did a whole show of like what would be the best walkout song. Like, how Virginia Tech has Enter the Sandman, and you have a lot of schools don't do it, but there's a few that have those awesome traditions that just get it so hyped before the game. And like me and Jamal were talking, like, do you get like To Live or Die in LA to come out to? Do you get like a Guns N' Roses song to come out to? Like something that just plays for 45 seconds to 2 minutes, gets the crowd into it, and then they run out. Like the hype video is cool. I'm not like totally against it, but I think a song that you have every week would be awesome. Like that's a new tradition they got to do.
You remember the song from the Pete Carroll days, Jamal?
What did they play? No, I don't remember.
Eminem.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say that, absolutely. That's what I was gonna say. Bring Eminem back, but no, for sure. They
do that the same one every walkout.
Yeah.
It was perfect. They had they had us like coming out of the locker room, and then like they put the camera like on our feet, and it was like doing the hype video and the same thing.
Yeah.
And they hit you with the dun, 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 dun.
No, it was great. It was.
If you had one shot, and then all of a sudden
one opportunity.
Yep, that was perfect.
Yeah,
that's but you got to do it in LA.
Song. That's a very SC song for sure.
Oh, it's so SC. But I think now if you do it again, you got to do like an LA like based artist, whether it's Guns N' Roses, whether it's Tupac, whether it's Snoop, whether it's whatever. I mean, I love Eminem, but it's Detroit. So let's get one of our great LA talents. But anyway, we'll see if that ever happens.
I don't
We'll
think
get Candace and Jen Cohen in a room and they can make that happen. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I don't think. Let's see. Live and Die in LA is not good. Oh, California Love.
California Love for sure.
Yeah, that was on there. What was you guys? While you guys are chatting, I'll look it up because we had a poll. Do you remember the 4 songs we had, Jamal?
I remember that I sort of liked T.I.'s "Bring 'Em Out." I thought that would be a good song.
That's a good one. Bring 'em out. Bring 'em out. Bring 'em out.
That felt very SC and kind of in the moment for sure.
They tried that. Yeah. They tried that in Texas against Alabama, and they should have went back in.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Anything beats out sort of crawling out the way SC did against Bama, and then, if you're going to crawl out, the rule number 1, crawl. If you're going to crawl out, don't lose by 46. And then rule number 2 is always follow rule number 1.
And if you forgot rule number 2, revert back to rule number 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that one right there, that one was bad. But I'm really thinking about what song would be a good song to come out to. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of changes that's gonna happen when I become the head coach at USC.
There it is. You're manifesting, Fred. You're manifesting. That's what's happening right now.
I wouldn't even know what I'd be honest with you. I wouldn't even know what I'd do if I legit got a call from Jen Cohen hey, come talk. I'm like, why does Jen Cohen want to talk to me? And then that happens. I don't even know. Who would be the question is, who would be the first person I would call? For me, put it like this. It's just to equate it for you guys. I guess it's like winning the lotto, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, it'd be like winning the lotto. Who would be the first person I would call? I guess it'll be my wife because we have to have a hard conversation. You know what I mean? Because that's a big family move. But who would you?
Your wife would be stoked, I would think, if you became a coach at USC.
No doubt, she won't have to work.
There you go. So why is it a hard conversation? Sounds like it would be a very easy conversation.
Well, because
huge time commitment.
Yeah, and she was with me. She was with me when she was with me at my other stops, and she understands. She knows, and she's one of the ones that's always hey, around December, she'll tell me hey, check on your friends, start checking on your friends. It's getting that time. You need to check on your friends, and because she understands. You
get locked in. Yeah. You just get so locked in.
No, December's firing time.
Oh, that's why. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so she's check on your friends, make sure they're still good, and then she understands feast or famine. I could be employed this year, and then next year it's hey, welcome back,
Fred,
guys.
You got to do the Lincoln Riley, Sean McVay thing, and just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this for 3 years, 4 years, and that's it, and I'm out.
No, I'm be like, I'm on. I can't say Joe Paterno. I'm on the Bobby Bowden move. I'm dying here. You guys are gonna have to carry me off the field.
Wow, I love that. But you know what? Truth be told, I think SC kind of needs that. They need more of that. They need more of the lifers. Rather than kind of more of the transactional guys.
Yeah, definitely not a stepping stone. My staff, though, if my staff wants to use it as a stepping stone, I'll just ask for a 2 or 3 year commitment. Hey, give me at least 2 years. You know what I mean? Don't use this and bounce. I got to find somebody else. But you guys, if this is what you want to do to make yourself better, then go ahead. But me, I'm dying here. This is my home school. I went to school. I played on this field. I am dying here. I'm not leaving. Don't force me out.
To live and die in LA. There you go.
There it is. Oh,
there you go.
Reference. There we go.
If I'm on the hot seat, I'll go beg the boosters. You guys just give me 2 more years. I promise you, I'll get this right. I'll get this right.
I don't know if it works like that, but I think everyone probably does.
Yeah. No.
They still get fired.
Just give me 10 more years. I'll get it right. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Give me 10 years, $100 million, and I will give you a shoddy defense and score 50 points.
There you go. Exactly. And I will promise you give me $100 million for 10 years, we will be 7-time LA Bowl champions. You can take that to the bank right there.
No doubt. No doubt.
One more than Jordan. 7
Speaking of
LA Bowl
champions. Speaking of defense, real quick, to go back to the game for a second, because we mentioned that 04 game with the 4 stops from the 10. And in this game on Saturday, Cal gets the ball back. It's like, all right, here's this opportunity for this 0-4 moment. It's not a signature moment because this defense doesn't mean they're good all of a sudden. But hey, here's an opportunity to have this style of stop. And you remember that game? They had some opportunities and still Cal was able to get down. Rodgers made some plays. They get down that 10. And then, like you mentioned, Jamal, they hold them 4 times. Cal did the same thing. They had the penalty. They moved down. They're on the 10. It's like, okay, here's the moment. And then first play, the screen touchdown. But hey, they stopped in the 2-point. They had their signature moment, I guess, on that 2-point attempt. So they got it in some regard.
What year was the block field goal? Was that the first year or the second year? Oh, it was the first year because Sean Cody was still there. Sean Cody blocked it.
Yep.
So it was in Cal, the block field goal.
Yeah. And Mike Will blocked it. It was Mike Will blocked the field goal.
It was Mike Williams. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Were you at that game, Jamal?
No, I was not at that game. I didn't go to the Weekender that year. I went to the Weekender in 2005, which was a much, much easier game, Leinart had 3 rushing touchdowns in that 2005 game, I remember, and it was kind of a famous, like he held the ball, like he kind of classically did with the left hand, like he did in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was an incredible game.
Let me ask you guys this. Will be kind of a fun topic. So that to me,
can I pay a bill first?
Yeah, pay a bill.
All right. Well, it's October, most exciting sports month. We got World Series, NFL, college season's winding down, so get your chance while you can now. Hockey, and we got NBA basketball. If you want to take advantage of all that bets action, go to betonline.ag where you get all the up to the latest odds. You can put in a fat parlay, start working on your Christmas stash. If you go to betonline.ag and put in promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, you will give a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, go ahead, Ryan.
So, I mean, obviously this is a different scenario because of how the season has gone a little bit. But there's an opportunity where, some good feelings can be made. And we think specifically of that 2004 year and, Aaron Rodgers against Matt Leinart has to be one of the better Pac-12 clashes among quarterbacks. There's been a lot of them, obviously, over time, and SC has had so many good quarterbacks. But when you look at an SC quarterback versus another Pac-12 quarterback, that's got to be up there, right? Leinart versus Rodgers. And now they have this opportunity in these next 2 weeks. You got Caleb Williams against Michael Penix, Caleb Williams against Bo Nix. So just curious, what do you guys think one of these matchups, we can start with Penix, and we're obviously doing a preview show later in the week, but can this go down as one of the great Pac-12 QB games? Not a rivalry because they're only going to play once now. We're not going to see it again, but one of the great Pac-12 QB games in recent memory.
Yeah, it can be. I said this before in the past, and you guys would probably hate me for it, but think about this. I just want you to think about this. Over the next 3 games, if Caleb Williams throws for between 1,500 and 900 yards over the next 3 games, and he has 12 touchdowns, is he considered a Heisman candidate again? Right? Not only that, he did it against top-ranked Washington, top-ranked Oregon, and he did it against a feisty UCLA defense. I mean, he has a chance to be back in the Heisman race. Will he win it? No. Will he get a chance to go back to New York? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but when you talk about that, like that, you talk about a lot of points. I wonder what the over-under is. I think we could see 80
to 75.
I think we can see 80 points, right?
First to 80 on Saturday. First to 80.
No, yeah. it'll be I think a dynamite game. No, Ryan, I totally agree with you. I think it has all the makings. I mean, when I think of sort of iconic Pac-12 matchups that really sort of lived up to the hype, I mean, I think a lot of Berkely and Luck. Those were some great ones. I mean, 2011, that game, triple overtime, that might have been the best duel that I've ever seen. The 2010 game was just as great at the Farm. I mean, that was maybe one of the most underrated games in the history of the Pac-12. I mean, so those two were absolutely dynamite. And then even when Mariota came to town, and there was that game in 13-14 when Oregon came, peak Chip, kind of came. It was probably Chip's last year. So it was probably 12. And it was Marquise Lee and Matt Berkely, and that was 62-51. I mean, SC punted once, and there was kind of like, did we just lose the game? In the second quarter, as he punted, it was like 7 minutes to go in the second quarter, and people were like, I think we just lost the game, because Oregon literally scored on every possession. So there have been some dynamite games, and this definitely has all the makings. I think you need some ebbs and flows, and I think what's sort of unique about this rivalry is, or what this game could be is, Penix is left-handed, and there's just something so beautiful about the lefty, and with the lefty with a great arm and just the spin, and getting the opportunity to see a great right-hander versus a great left-hander. Prime time, it's going to be Fowler and Herbstreit. This definitely has all the makings. The other game I remember, not Pac-12, but it's a game you sort of always remember now, given kind of historical context, was Baker against Mahomes. That Oklahoma-Texas Tech game from about 6-7 years ago was just insanity. I mean, and I think Mahomes had like 700 yards passing in that game. I mean, it was just total insanity. And Baker had like 550 and 7 touchdowns or something. I mean, so, who knows? This could be a game that folks will be talking about for the better part of the next decade if all the stars align.
What was the one? It was from maybe the early 2000s or late 90s. It was Joey Harrington and who was
are you talking about Arizona State? There was one where it was Oregon, Arizona State. I think it was like Andrew Walter. He was that big kid. He was dynamite.
These guys were all over Sports Illustrated and everything. They were both Heisman candidates, and like they had
Plummer.
No, they had the Sports Illustrated cover, and the cover had like
I remember Joey Harrington for sure was like all about it. Yeah.
Well, you thinking about like Tuiasosopo of Washington, Tuiasosopo and Harrington, Washington, Oregon,
or was it Achilles Smith? Was he?
Achilles Smith was late 90s. Achilles Smith went against Cade McNown in 98. That was a very decorated game. That was 41-38 UCLA in the Rose Bowl.
I'm going to tell you guys. Hold on. Once I find the cover. And like on the Sports Illustrated, oh no, he was a running back. Never mind. It was Joey Harrington and who is this?
What, Napoleon Kaufman?
No, I'll show you guys here.
Oh, the beauty of technology. A little share screen action.
Yeah, I'll just show you guys. Let's see. Right here. Remember this one? This was like a big deal. Share. That one. You remember that? Don't tell me you guys don't remember that.
Yeah, it was Harrington, but who's 35?
That's what I'm kind of... It says it right here. Kaya Symington.
I don't remember.
But I thought it was
I'm not gonna lie.
Here. I thought it was a quarterback, but I was wrong. Never mind. I apologize. Sorry, guys.
Okay. I feel bad. I don't even remember who else. I remember Joey Harrington.
Yeah, no, I
went through over all the Lions. Speaking of, Lions are about to beat the Raiders, but
there you go.
Yeah. Joey Harrington. Never mind. But Cade McNown was a big quarterback matchup.
Yeah. Well, everyone forgets that that 97 season with McNown, the first 2 games UCLA lost, they went 0-2, but they played the first 2 picks in the draft. They played Ryan Leaf in the opener and then Peyton Manning. It was crazy. McNown had to go through the first 2 picks in the draft in 97. So there's been some crazy matchups, Ryan, over the years. This definitely has the makings. And it feels like this would be the duel. I don't know if you're going to get the Bo Nix Caleb duel. Oregon just kind of runs a more balanced attack. They're going to run the ball. They're going to give it to Bucky Irving. They're going to play great defense. It's in Eugene. I think they're really going to control tempo. I think this is the game where all hell can break loose, in the Collie and just this wide open style. So I actually don't see fireworks in some of these other games, but this is the one. If the fireworks was going to happen, if there was going to be a game that folks remembered this year from this 23 Trojan team, it feels like this would be the one.
Save it for Thursday.
And just looking
don't give it all right now. We still got to do the preview show.
Yeah, no, I'm not giving anything away.
Yeah, all I'm going to say, because we're going to dive into it, but just I gotta add to that is because when you look at the style of play, like you mentioned, Jamal, I mean, the USC defense is ranked like 111th now, and the Washington defense is ranked like 96. So they're both. It's a match made in heaven. It's just an offensive powerhouse against 2 terrible defenses.
All right, I'm going to look at the over now. I'm curious about the over.
All right, so while you're looking at that, unless you guys have anything else, if you do jump in, but I just have one final question. We can wrap up with this.
All right,
we're good.
It's going to be very poignant, right? You better pay attention because this is going to be poignant. Whenever Ryan sets that up, it's going to be big. It's going to be big.
No, it's really not.
Get ready.
It's not it's not big at all. I just wanted to make sure I don't end the show before you guys had anything else to say. But no, tomorrow is the first CFP ranking show, Tuesday. Do you think USC will be in the top 25? They came out in 24 again. They held pat in the AP top 25. Do they remain in the top 25 in the CFP rankings?
Yeah. They'll be 24, 25. Yeah. The funny thing would be, and I'm going to remain optimistic. The funny thing would be if they go 3-0 over this next series, like, where do you put them in? That's the question you ask. Like, they go 3-0. No, not even that. They go 4-0. So SC goes 4-0. They're the Pac-12 champion. What do you do then? Pac-12
and there's a chance
conference.
Arizona ends up ranked. I mean, Arizona's vying for a ranked spot.
Yeah, like, so what do you do then? Like, I'm just
being all optimistic.
Jamal, look at Jamal. Jamal, just hypothetical.
Yeah. No. I'm. This is fun Monday. Okay, this is the Bearded Bandits. Okay, so it's all hell is breaking loose. So let's do it. I mean, let's get into the alternate reality. Let's do it. I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right. So say they go 4-0 over the next 4 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just hypothetical. Do not kill us in the comments. Okay. So it comes out tomorrow. SC's number 24. We'll give them 24, right? We know they're going to be between 24 and 25. Not much of a gap, right? They go 4-0, which means they beat probably 2 top 10 teams, right? And then they'll beat a top 25 team, right? Then they'll probably have to beat a top 25 team. We'll say top 15 team because we don't know where they'll slide Washington or Oregon, and we don't know what's going to happen between the Apple Cup and the Civil War and all that. So they go 4-0. They're the Pac-12 champion. What happens now? What chaos happens now? The Pac-12 is the toughest conference in the nation right now. What chaos happens now? Where do you put the Pac-12 champion?
You know, you have to put the Pac-12 champion in the playoff. I mean, if it's the best conference in the country, they have to get a playoff spot. I think the crazy scenario here would be, you know, in this sort of weird world, there's a couple of like gnarly scenarios even there. Like let's say they go 3-0, but let's say Washington doesn't lose another game, and let's say beyond USC, and let's say USC ends up having to play, you know, some other team. You know, the crazy scenario would be they could go 3-0 and still not make the Pac-12 championship game, right? So because if they beat Washington, but Washington doesn't lose, you got to remember Utah's still sitting at 2 losses, and Utah's got the tiebreak over SC, right? So in a world where Oregon maybe gets a 3rd loss, Oregon State gets a 3rd loss, they're kind of playing each other. There could be a world where SC goes 3-0 and doesn't make the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah, but if we beat Oregon, we hold the tiebreak over Utah.
No. I mean, the tiebreak over Utah is the tiebreak over Utah in the head-to-head, right? I mean, so that's what this comes down to.
Isn't Utah have 2 Pac-12 losses, and right now SC only has 1 Pac-12 loss because Notre Dame's out of conference. So
you're right. Yeah.
They would technically. So
more chaos. Then, they go 3-0. They're in the Pac-12 championship game for sure. No, I mean, I think there's a world where if they go 4-0, they should be in the playoff.
We won't get in that because then
here's where I would say. Here's where I would say to be even more chaos, and it's what you were saying, Jamal, just played out differently. Let's say if they beat Washington, lose to Oregon, beat UCLA. So they're a 3-loss team, but a 2-loss Pac-12 team. And then I'm not going to play out everything else, but basically they somehow get in the Pac-12 playoff with 2 of those losses and then win the Pac-12. So they win the Pac-12, but they're a 3-loss total team. Then it's like, well, then what do you do?
I don't think they get in. I think what will happen will be, you know what will happen? They'll pick the team that actually didn't make the Pac-12 championship game.
Yeah.
Like they'll be one of the, like if they're playing Oregon State or they're playing Oregon, but the one team that gets to sit at home and not collect another loss, that will probably be the team that gets in, kind of the way Ohio State got in last year, right? Without winning the conference, or that one year that Alabama got in without having to play the SEC championship game. Right. I think that would be the scenario. I think 3 is stretching it even for a conference champion, but I think 2 and it still can happen.
I think Ryan, actually, your scenario will be the best scenario because then we'll be able to go to that game. We'll be able to do a show and all that. So that's kind of one I kind of like that one. Yeah. I like that one playing at the Rose Bowl. I mean, just don't bring any jury. I was trying to look on Underdog to see if they had Caleb Williams stuff up yet, but we have to wait.
Yeah, I usually don't get the college stuff up till like Thursday or so.
Right,
I did real quick though, Alfred. The over under right now is 76.5.
76. Yeah, I saw that. That's a lot of points.
That'd be higher, to be honest. I mean, that's each team scores 40. You got the over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I thought it'd be higher than that, to be honest. We'll see. But since you said that, since we're closing up, Underdog Fantasy, head to underdogfantasy.com or the Underdog Fantasy app on the App Store or Google Play. Use our promo code USCLAFB. That's all one word, USCLAFB. You get a match bonus up to $500. Put in $500. They're going to match you with some free money to play with. It's fun pick'em style, 2 to 5 players. You can win 20 times the money you put in. Underdog Fantasy, promo code USCLAFB. Tell them Still the Choice sent you.
Yep. Who do you guys, before we go, another question popped in my head. So, right, I apologize for the interruption here. But who do you guys think is going to win the Heisman?
I don't know.
My number, it will never, it's so hard for me, especially being a former receiver, but it just never happens. But right now, I would have Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah. I think if he blows up if he blows up in that Michigan game, because they've been so shaky at quarterback, where if they beat Michigan and he blows up, I think that's right. I do. Yeah. I think it would, because it's one of those years where it's kind of shaky right now. Look, I think Penix has got a real shot if he makes a big statement Saturday night in a win. Yeah. I think he can kind of get back to the pole position where he was prior to that Arizona State game. But short of that, it feels very wide open. I don't buy J.J. McCarthy. I mean, they've just played no one, and I just don't see that. And I think I would say Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, it feels like the year a non-quarterback can win it, just because every solid quarterback has had at least one stinker of a game. I mean, even Penix had that stinker against Arizona State, and Mays.
He had a stinker last week too,
and he had a bad one last week. And Caleb obviously had the 2 or 3 game run, and so I mean, it feels like the year a non-QB can finally win it.
So let me ask you this: I'm gonna follow up with that question before we get out of here. Who goes to New York?
What do you think? You think 5 go?
Maybe
5 players.
Yeah. I think this is one of those years.
You think it'll be 5?
This could be one of those years where it's 5 because the vote gets so split.
All right, so 5. What 5 do you have going?
I think Marvin Harrison Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I think J.J. McCarthy will go. I don't think he'll win, but I think he'll go. Yeah. I think Caleb will go. I think Penix will go. Bo Nix might go. I mean, it might be 3 Pac-12 quarterbacks.
Yeah, I see Bo Nix going too.
Yeah.
I see.
I don't think May. I think May is kind of considered more of a great pro prospect than a great college player. I think Texas is sort of, playing musical chairs at quarterback. Nobody from Georgia, nobody from Bama. And you start kind of going down the list here of top teams. Maybe Travis from Florida State. Maybe Travis from Florida State goes over one of the Pac-12 QBs.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
I think Travis. I think you have to sort of recognize Florida State's season and how well he's played. So I think it'll probably be Travis, Marvin Harrison Jr., J.J. McCarthy, and 2 Pac-12 quarterbacks.
Guess who else is a favorite?
Who?
Jaden Daniels.
Well, he's got a big one. He's got a big one against Bama this week. So I mean, if he balls out there at Bama, that would be something.
Yeah. Just to throw another name, if it's a non-quarterback, maybe Audric Estime, running back Notre Dame, maybe gets but unlikely.
I'll throw another one. I'll throw in another one. Non-quarterback to really kind of go crazy. If this team runs the table from here on out and their unit is as dominant as they can be, I'm going to say Leatu Latu.
You're going
I think Latu could be one of those years.
sacks right
if
now?
Latu gets to 15, 16, 17 sacks, it's one of those years where I could see Latu go.
I got you.
Oh, that'd be such a good story.
I will.
Such
All
a
right,
good story.
all right. One more. It's a yes or no. And I mentioned it earlier. Over the next 3 games, let's say over the next 3 games, Caleb Williams throws for 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns.
You keep changing the numbers, by the way. So,
well, I got to make it sound convincing. I said between 9 and 1,500. So
that's a wide band. That's a wide band. That's like saying, I don't know what to wear today. I'm not sure what to wear today. It's going to be between 58 and 98 degrees outside. I'm not sure what to wear.
Nah, 9. I mean, he could have two. He could have 2 500 games, and then well, that would be 1,000 right there. But let's just say he has 1,400. So he goes 500, 500, 400, 4 touchdowns a game.
If he goes 14 and 12, he might be the Heisman favorite. Then I'll say that against those teams.
1,412 touchdowns.
That's 2 500 games and a 400-yard game, and all 3 4-touchdown games. Like, yes, he is then back in the Heisman favorite category.
You know what's crazy though is that even if he goes 12 touchdowns and at the end of the season, he's still going to be below his numbers last year. And I to try and repeat. I don't know if you can have worse numbers than the first year. Like the way you repeat is because you're competing against yourself the year before more than you are competing with any other candidate.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, Rai. I mean, it would be a heck of an argument. I just don't know. I also think that the Heisman is such a narrative award where I think there's just been so much like negative publicity around Caleb the last couple of weeks where I don't know if I think there's a staleness. But yeah, I mean, 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns, he'd certainly get invited. I don't know if there's really anything he can do short of like 700 yards and 7 touchdowns on Saturday to kind of get back in it. But he would need to do something just outrageous.
All right, so what if he goes 1,412 and in Oregon he has the Reggie Bush Fresno State game?
Well, he's what is the
Reggie Bush Fresno? Like he rushes for 220 yards?
No, just takes over the game like Reggie Bush did against Fresno State. Like it just becomes the Caleb Williams show.
Fred, what you're saying? 1,400 yards. That's 2 500-yard games and a 400-yard game. Those are Reggie Bush games. Those are Reggie Bush games.
I'm just saying.
What's crazy about the Heisman is because I agree with you, Jamal. It's gonna be so hard for him. But even with what feels like a down season, he's still 2 in yards and 2 in touchdowns. It's not like he's like 12 or 14. He's second.
Yeah, no. I mean,
and we're saying he needs, and I agree with you. We're saying he needs to have a cataclysmic final 3 to even have a shot. That's just how hard it is to win it back to back.
It's crazy. It tells you how good he is, and B, it tells you, how QB friendly the air raid is too. And it's because there are years that Graham Harrell threw for 5,500 yards and guys like that. So the air raid is definitely QB friendly. But I agree. It just feels like he's just got to go bonkers just because it's been a while since we've thought of Caleb just so positively.
I just want to see a back-to-back Heisman, but it is what it is. It's probably one.
We all do.
Yeah,
we all
definitely. Well,
there'll be a back-to-back Heisman in LA. Leatu Latu wins the Heisman. It's back-to-back in LA. So there you go.
I don't even think UCLA knows what to do with an award like that. they only believe in Naismiths. That's it.
Ooh, Fred, the trash talking starts early with the victory bell.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen when our fans see you on the other side in the Victory Bell show?
Hey, listen, I've been very transparent with our fans that I went, and you've been very transparent with our fans that I've been to every school. So I don't think it's a huge shock here. Undergrad USC, grad UCLA. So, I've been very open about that,
There you go.
It is what it is.
It'll be good to see Will the Thrill too. Guys, it's been fun. We've been hanging out today. Nothing too crazy. We're going to jump into it on Thursday. We get to
the Bearded Bandits.
Yeah.
The Bearded Bandits.
We get to talk about Michael Penix and Caleb Williams showdown. That'll be a good one. Primetime TV. Are they 4:30?
4:30.
4:30.
Fowler and Herb Street. Fowler and Herb Street should have just stayed in LA all week.
Yeah,
there's no reason to go anywhere.
Is college game day? Is college game day at the Coliseum? No, not that. Not
no.
worth it. Where are they?
I don't know. Actually, kind of surprised.
Are they at Bama for LSU Bama?
Probably.
I'm
guessing. Probably. Yeah. Oh well. Well, we get to dive into the Huskies and the Trojans on Thursday. It's going to
When
be
was
good.
I'm just going to keep dragging the show on. When was the last time
All right.
College Game Day was at SC? I feel like it's been a while. Because they went to UCLA 2 years ago for the UCLA Oregon game. I can't remember when they've been at USC. There's been a College Game Day for an SC game, but it was an away game. Because I bet you what they'll do, like if SC wins on Saturday, they'll do game day at Oregon. They'll do it at Oregon SC.
For sure. Like, no, I want to say last time, I mean, obviously there was game days with Oregon, mid 2010s. I want to say maybe Texas, when Texas came to SC, Darnold's second year.
2011, when number 6 Stanford topped SC 56-48.
That was the last time?
That was
really when Oregon came in like 13. There was no game day. It feels like game day was there, Fred.
No, maybe, but I'm just going off of what I see right here. I will say this, and they're like
Fred's quick on the Googler. He's quick on the.
He is quick on the Googler.
Well, I'm not as factual as you guys, like statistically and like and with jersey and roster numbers. So like I want to at least be able to say, hey, let me find something. They're making it very apparent that they're trying to hit every university. Like they're trying to be more diverse now. They're not trying to. Before they were so honed in on the SEC, and the SEC is bad now. Not bad, but they're not what they used to be. And so like they're like, oh, where haven't we been yet? And so I think they're trying to
Colorado. Unless Coach Prime coaches you, but I guess that's now it's stale. But
I told that it was going to run out fast. So they haven't been to Illinois, Maryland, Rutgers, Syracuse, or Virginia.
Ever?
Interesting. Ever. I don't think they ever will be. I'm surprised they didn't go to Illinois when they had juice.
Yeah.
If they could go to, I mean, does Florida State play Virginia at Virginia this year? If they do in the last few weeks, that could be a nice spot for game day.
True.
Yeah.
Virginia's campus is gorgeous. I mean, game day would be out of their minds not to go there. That's a phenomenal institution, phenomenal location. And that community's also been through so much with the tragedy last year. Game day should get their act together and get down there.
They should. You're right.
That'd be a good one.
See? The voice of the people. Jamal and Maggie, everybody.
There you go. All right, you're closing.
All right. We appreciate you guys. Guys, it's been fun. It's been fun. If you want to save on groceries, as Kansas was saying, and want to get better good health, go visit AG1. That's drinkag1.com/salute to Troy. You'll get a free year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs. That is drinkag1.com/salute to Troy. It's been fun. We're getting ready to talk about the Huskies and the Trojans. Let's do it. I'm excited for this one. I'm really excited. This is going to be one of those ones where on Sunday we're going to be like, we're going to have to breathe. We're going to be like, whew, that was fun.
I think Fred's going to have to breathe right now. I mean,
I mean, we all have to go into the game not expecting a single stop. So if you have that expectation that the defense is not going to stop them once, if they stop them once or twice, it's a win. We're good.
There it is.
Oh, it's only one. Oh, you only need one stop now. No more.
No. I'm not saying they're going to win the game. I mean, a win based on the expectations. Like, we got 2 stops.
I got you.
I'm not saying they win.
The Dairun rule has gone from 4 stops to 1. There we go.
Just get one. No, definitely. Hey, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys Thursday. As you already know, thank you guys, fans. Live free, fight on.